Some people can just like magically say all the things that make people want to run around and think they're wonderful, and they have unicorns dancing in their hair, and you're like, hey guys, it's Amber. So today's been kind of a crazy day. My 4-year-old had a preschool party today, and I went and helped as like a little room mother, and my 7-year-old has one tomorrow. So Christmas is in full force. My kids are almost out of school. Things are gonna get crazy. Christmas is almost here. I originally filmed this video this morning and I got about 2 minutes into it and my battery died. I'd forgotten to plug it in, so totally my fault. Now it is like almost 4 o'clock, and so I doubt that I'll be able to film this and edit it and get it up today, which is Monday, but I will do so for tomorrow. And I also have an unboxing that I'm going to be filming for Wednesday. I'm just trying to get caught up on a few things because we are going to be going out of town, so I'm trying to get a few videos pre-filmed so I don't have to worry about lugging all my equipment with me to, you know, holiday stuff, that kind of thing. Anyway, so what I wanted to talk to you guys about today was friendships. And I feel like you guys know me pretty well. Like, no, you don't know my day-to-day life, and you don't like, you know, come around me with everything that I do. But as far as like my personality, like I'm very real to who I am on camera. Like I love makeup and beauty. I love fashion. I love doing hair. I love my family. But I also have a very like psychological, philosophical side of me that I love talking about people and feelings and the reasons why people do the things that they do. That kind of stuff is very interesting to me. And also I like to be very real and raw. That basically sums me up as a person. Me as a person is I am someone who on the outside is very beauty and fashion oriented, but on the inside I'm a much deeper person, and I truly care about people. I truly care about helping people and making the world a better place. Like I know that sounds cliche, but like I know people may say that, but like that's really what I want. Like when you guys tell me that something that I've done has helped you, that's my goal. Like my goal has been achieved because I just want to make people feel like that they're not alone. And if people have gone through similar situations that I have, then we can learn from each other, we can share each other's stories. And this is a no judgment zone. I'm not judging you. I hope you're not judging me. We're just being real and honest with each other. And so today I want to go on another topic, which is friendships. And I know I'm not alone when I say I struggle with friendships. I feel like I am two very different people that are unique because I have this very passionate beauty side to me, but I also have this very deep philosophical side of me. And sometimes those things don't mesh, or both sides don't mesh with a person. And I'll get into more of that later. But I do have some great friends, but I don't have a lot of friends. And over the years, I've kind of wondered why I've struggled making friends. Why don't people want to be friends with me versus other people? And I've kind of thought about this for a while, and I was mulling it around in my brain and talking to my husband, and it's like people who really get to know me, they love me. They're just like, Amber, you know, they get to know who I am. But for people who just know me kind of casually, it's hard for me to make those deeper connections and friendships. I was just jotting down some things, and of course I don't have any licenses as far as psychology or social work. I'm not a professional friendship analyst or anything, but just like girl to girl, and from my experience as being a hairstylist and observing people, observing relationships and why people do what they do, I just want to share some thoughts about friendship. And when we were talking about this last night, me and my husband, it was kind of like a few light bulbs went off for him, and he's like, you know, I've never really thought about it that way. And I was like, I haven't either. But it was really great to kind of look at things for what they are, and then it kind of helps you determine where you're at, what kind of person you want to be, what kind of friends you want to attract, and what kind of friend you want to be to other people. Okay, so in my opinion, there are 3 different types of friends that I identify with. First is going to be an acquaintance, someone that you know, but it's more casual. The second one is going to be a situational friend. This can be a very good friend, but you were brought together because of a specific situation. Third is a heart-to-heart friend, or somebody that you have a deeper connection, friendship level with. So first of all, for acquaintance, these are people that you may meet anywhere. You might meet them at work or school or church or volunteering or in your neighborhood. You don't dislike the person, but you don't really have like a real opinion about them. It's kind of like, hey, you see them driving, hey, hi, you know, oh, there's Sally, hi, how is she doing? You know, you might see somebody you know, at a get together and sit down by him, talk to him for a few minutes, but at the end of the day, you don't really feel like you're friends. You know, you might work with each other and you might have an assignment to do together at school, but at the end of the day, you don't exchange phone numbers. You don't friend each other on Facebook. I mean, I know Facebook isn't everything, but you know, you don't do those extra steps to say like, hey, I'm investing something into this relationship. Because for every friendship, you have to be able to invest something and they have to invest something. So it has to be a two-way street. This is the way most friendships start out, and sometimes they blossom into more relationship as far as a deeper friendship, and sometimes you just stay acquaintances. And I've had people that were acquaintances of mine for years and then finally got to know each other better and became a better friendship. But it just, you know, there's nothing wrong with this. Everybody has acquaintances. Okay, the next is a situational friend. And again, situational friends can turn into deeper meaning friends, but this is kind of the process I see that it goes through. So these are people that you may or may not have been friends with if you weren't in the same situation. Like say you just went to school and you saw this person, you thought, oh, you know, nothing about them really attracted to you as far as a friendship goes, but you got assigned together to be on a group project, and suddenly you guys have become friends because you've been put in this situation together where it's forced you kind of to become friends. So I think to become situational friends, you need to have 2, maybe 3 of these situations to combine for the friendship to start and to not just be acquaintances. So the first one would be like similar interests. Like, do you like makeup? Do you like shopping? Do you like crafts? Do you like gardening? Do you like sports? Do you like snowboarding? Do you like music? You know, what kind of things? It's like you meet someone at the store and suddenly they mention their son plays hockey. Well, my son plays hockey. And then suddenly you've got something going on that you start to talk about. The next thing can be like more personal thing, like what are your ideals? What are your beliefs? You know, someone that shares the same religion as you, someone that shares the same thoughts and philosophies or politics. The next thing would be similar lifestyles. Do you guys have kids that are the same age that go to the same school? Do you have kids that are on the same sports team? Are you somebody who works a job and this person's single and you're single, so it's fun to go out together? Are you married without kids and they're married without kids, so it's fun? You know, if you're in some of those similar situations, sometimes it's easy to be drawn to those people because you think, hey, they're like me, they're doing the same thing I'm doing. We're both in college, that makes it fun. Then you have people who have the same experiences as you. So say I was a single mom and I go drop my son off, you know, making small talk, you know, and I found out this other lady's a single mom. Well, now suddenly my heart goes out to her because I'm a single mom and she's a single mom. Or, you know, you make mention of somebody and they said, you know, I just lost my father this year. And then I could say, you know what? I lost my father 6, 7 years ago and it was really hard. And suddenly you can take your experience and you can be empathetic towards their experience, whether they're struggling with anxiety or depression, a mental illness, a physical condition, anything that is an experience that they're going through. If you or someone you know has gone through a similar experience, like suddenly you have that connection of relating to a similar experience so you guys can kind of hold up each other and kind of help each other through what you're going through. And I think when you have these kind of relationships, it tends to go deeper, but I mean, it doesn't have to. And that takes me into the next thing. What does this person need this friendship for? What are they looking to get out of this friendship? Are they looking for someone to talk to about their problems? Are they looking for someone to help them? Like, hey, can you pick up my kids from school tomorrow? Or hey, do you mind babysitting Maddie tomorrow, you know, at 3 o'clock while I go to the doctor's office? I mean, what is it that they're needing out of this friendship? Are they friending you because they want you to do something for them? Or are they friending you because they just want to be friends with you and they want to get to know you? And sometimes it starts either way. And it just kind of depends on what you guys are wanting. And this can be a hard thing when you feel like you're putting more into the relationship and they're just kind of wanting to take from you, but they're not wanting to give back. Like they're having a bad day, they want to call you and vent, but then when you're like, oh man, I had a bad day, they're like, oh, you know, I'm sorry, I really gotta go. And you're just like, okay, well, thank you for that. Then you realize that you are at a situational friendship, you're not in a deeper level, and you just have to keep the conversation light. And this is just more of a matter of convenience, not necessarily a heart-to-heart friendship. Sometimes people make friends because you work in the same place and maybe they feel like knowing you does something for them. Hey, I'm friends with John, and you know, John is the star salesman. So if I'm friends with John, I'm one of his people. You know, is that doing something for you? Or is John being friends with you doing something for him? So networking, making a friendship purely out of, hey, take my card, you can say you know me, name dropping, like, oh, I'm friends with so-and-so, he sent me your way. So that you can definitely use friendships in that kind of way as well. Sometimes you become friends with someone because you're just running in the same circle. You might be dating somebody and they might be dating someone and they end up being best friends. So then you end up being thrown into this experience where you're going out a lot together, you're doing these things. Well, if that situation ends and you break up, is that relationship going to continue? Probably not, because the relationship was just based on a situation. These kind of people usually, I feel like, have to be entertained. Like, they're not the kind of people who just want to come over and Netflix and chill. They are kind of the people that it's like, okay, we're going to lunch today, we're going shopping, we're doing something, you know, that has a purpose or something that they're going to get out of this experience. Typically, I find with situational friends is when the situation changes, then the friendship ends. Now, for me, I found that I had a lot more situational friends than I thought. When I lived in my old house, I thought I had more meaningful friends. But when I moved 20 minutes away, 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, all of a sudden, those people didn't call me anymore. Yeah, we were still friends on Facebook, or hey, they'd send me that happy birthday on my wall. But at the end of the day, if I called them and I needed something, would they be there for me? No, because I don't fit into their situation anymore. I don't fall into their daily routine. It's not convenient for them anymore. You have to think about that when you are investing in a relationship. If this is just a situational relationship, there's nothing wrong with caring about someone with your whole heart. But just realize, I think people like me who are very trusting and very giving and want to have those deep relationships, we tend to give a lot to other people, and we expect, because that's how we feel, that those people are going to want to give back to us. And when they don't, and they just kind of blow us off, or they go out with other friends and don't invite you, that's when we get hurt, because we set up expectations. I always think I need to be a little bit careful with my expectations of my friend. Well, if my friend Lauren was going through a hard time, maybe, you know, they're struggling financially, I would think, you know what, I'm gonna go make Lauren dinner because I care about Lauren, and I take that dinner to her and she says yes. Then sometimes I build the expectation that, well, when I'm down, Lauren will be there for me. And that's not always the case. If she's just looking at it as a situational friend or a convenient friend, she may not be reciprocating the same kind of friendship that you're wanting. So the next type of friendship, which is the one I try to look for, and this is why sometimes my expectations get a little off, or I get my feelings hurt because I feel like people don't care about me as much as I care about them, is a heart-to-heart friend. These are the people that you can tell anything to. These are the people that don't just, you tell them something and they literally turn it on themselves. Like, we all know those people that you try to tell you, like, about your day, and they have to one-up you, or they have to, like, turn it around on themselves, and you're like, okay, I'm sorry, I just want to tell you my bad day, but okay, you can tell me about your experience and assure me that it was worse than mine. Heart-to-heart friends aren't like that. Heart-to-heart friends are people who care about you, and they don't judge you. If they come over and your kitchen's messy, they're not gonna be like, well, you didn't clean up. You know, they are going to say, oh my gosh, have you been sick? Are you okay? Can I help you? These are the people that are going to care about you regardless. They have that unconditional love for you as a friend. I think with heart-to-heart friends, you can have distance come between you. You can maybe not talk for a little while, but when you come together and you get that connection back, that's when you know you have that deep friendship. These are people that you're going to talk frequently to. These are people that you're going to reach out to when you have a bad day or when something happy happens. Sometimes you just get so excited about something, you want to call and you want to tell somebody that's not going to be like, oh, well, must be nice. And I also feel like heart-to-heart friends really can be any age. I have heart-to-heart friends that are younger than me by 10 years. I also have heart-to-heart friends that are older than me, and I don't feel like there has to be an age involved. I think best friends can be a situational friend or a heart-to-heart friend. Because you think about it, you have a BFF in college, you have a BFF in high school, and you do everything together. You love each other so much, you're like dressing alike, talking alike, liking the same things. But then when high school ends or college ends, sometimes those friends go apart. And you know, if you get together, you can still hum and haw and talk about high school and relive the glory days. But the friendship was based on that experience, not necessarily on just your connection. But they could have still been your really best friend at that time. But then you also can have best friends that maybe you don't hang out every day, but you know are there for you all the time. And those are the people that have those deep connections. Then you kind of think about your friends and think, you know, are they a situational friend? Will they be gone when I move away? Will they be gone if they graduate college before me? Or is this going to be a heart-to-heart friend? Is this a friend that is going to be there for me no matter what? And it makes you think about the time you're investing and the kind of friends you want to be and the kind of friends that you have. So then there's lots of judgments that come with friendships, the reasons why you don't make friends with someone. And these may or may not be good judgments to make, but you have to use a lot of caution when you're making these judgments. And I think these are judgments too that from personal experience have been placed on me. One would be your looks, your body type, or your size. Everyone is going to judge you immediately when they see you based on how you look. When people look at me or they find out I'm a hairdresser, they immediately think that I'm stuck up. And I know that for a fact because I've had at least 2 or 3 people tell me, Amber, when I first met you, I thought you were really stuck up. But when I got to know you, I'm like, wow, she's like the most genuine, nicest person I've ever met. And I'm just like, is that supposed to be a compliment? Like, do I really walk around acting like I'm stuck up? And I thought about that for a long time, and I talked to my husband about it, and he said, Amber, I think it's because you're confident. You walk around, you go to the store, you get your stuff. I can go to the restaurant, get a thing to eat and sit down, eat it, read a book or whatever, and I can be totally fine. I don't need somebody to feed me or to follow me. I'm fine. Like, I consider myself to be an extroverted introvert. I'm perfectly fine doing my own thing and spending time by myself. But I am sociable. I like to be funny. I like to have friends. I like to go do fun things. So I'm kind of a nice balance between the two. So that's one judgment people will make. Also, they'll make judgments on how you do or do not do your hair and makeup. People who are like, since she got married, she let herself go. She doesn't try to make herself attractive anymore. Or you see people who are posting those memes like, how are these moms all getting ready and putting eyeliner on every day? I don't even have time to get ready or get dressed, and I'm just glad I kept the kids alive. Like, you kind of have this like battle between the like get readies and the not get readies, and it's like, why does it matter if I want to get ready for the day? Why does it affect everyone else? I'm not trying to make anyone else feel bad about getting ready or not getting ready. I just choose to because I like to. It doesn't mean that I think you should. It just means that I like to. The next thing I would say would be friends. How many times have you heard people say, whether high school, elementary, whatever, oh no, you can't be friends with her because she's friends with so-and-so. It's like, oh, because she's friends with so-and-so, I can't talk to her, or she's not allowed to come with us because she's friends with so-and-so. Like, how does that make sense? Well, if you're friends with her, you can't be friends with me. Like, seriously, guys, should that make a big difference? I should be able to be friends with who I want. And if that friendship doesn't work for you, then that's fine. But you shouldn't not allow me to make friends with someone in a meaningful friendship because you don't like them. Next is just obvious personality. You've got a type A people who are always on top of things. You've got the creative people. You've got, you know, the really outgoing, center of the life of the party people. Then you have more of the people that like to hang back, the busy bees that are behind the scenes. I mean, you've got a lot of different personalities. And I think there's some really great friendships that are very complementary to having people that have different personality types that can complement each other in a nice way. And then you also have good relationships where people who are similar and they like the same things and they think the same way, so that can make a great relationship. Next would be your lifestyle choices, the way you live, the things you spend your money on, your, you know, the car you drive, the kind of house you live in, all these like material things that make up your general lifestyle. It was kind of like this battle of the haves and have-nots, like, oh, well, if you drive up to the restaurant in a BMW and we drive up in a BMW, then we can be friends. But don't you dare drive that clunker because I'm not going to be seen with you. Also, mothering choices. The mommy wars is real. And you know what? I've done both. I have bottle fed, I have breastfed. I have worked outside the home, I worked from home. I've been mostly a stay-at-home mom. I have done it all. But you know what? It was all great. It was all great for the time of my life. It all worked for different reasons. And you know what? It doesn't matter what you choose to do. Because I've been a part-time working mom, like basically all of my kids' lives, it's like, it's really weird to see people who'll be like, well, I can't believe she'd send her kid to daycare all day. She must not care about her kids. Or the people who are work are like, oh, you stay at home and all day in your PJs. Well, you know what? I have to take care of my kids and have a full-time job. You guys, like, these are real things I hear people saying. And I'm just like, you want to be friends? Then stop caring about those things. You want to be friends? Then be kind to each other. I just think that stuff is ridiculous. I think you need to do what works best for you and your family and your kids. And whether you stay home or you work or you do whatever, it doesn't mean love your kids any more or less, or you're a better mom or a worse mom. It just means you're doing the best you can. That's all. Also, I think in some higher societies, having a last name or who you know or who your dad was or what company owns ends up giving you more credit as being a friend because, oh, well, she's a Johnson of the Smithfield Johnsons. Okay, well, why can't Amber from the regular people of the world be your friend, but so-and-so from the Johnsons can? You know, these are just things that don't really make sense to me, but I think they're real and they're things that have happened to me as well as far as like judgments go. Some other reasons why I think friendships don't work out, and I think this is for me especially, is people see me as busy. They're like, Amber, you work from home, you run a salon, you have 2 kids, you are running them around to these different things, you're a Cub Scout leader, you do YouTube videos, you're filming, you're editing, you don't have time for friends. And I'm like, I have time for friends. Like, what about on, you know, Wednesdays at 11 o'clock when nothing's going on? I'd love to take a walk around the block and talk with somebody about life's problems. But people see me as busy. So I think sometimes people don't reach out. And I also think that I don't reach out to others because I think they're busy, or I'm just not I'm not good at like creating a situation. Like, I'll see my friends going out and they're not inviting me because they think I might be busy. But last time I was with them, did I make a point to say, hey, I want to invite you, let's do this, let's make a plan? I think people who are better at making plans are the people that end up having better relationships and more friends because they're willing to put themselves out there. Where if you're someone who's sitting back waiting for someone to invite you, you might not have as many of those opportunities because you're not actively seeking for those types of opportunities. And I know that's one that I'm guilty of, is that I don't put myself out there because I feel awkward like inviting someone because I'm like, what if they don't want to come over? What if they don't want to hang out with me? And so I kind of wait for them to invite me, which sometimes creates, you know, a lack of interest, or they think I'm not interested in being their friend when I am. I'm just shy sometimes, I guess. I don't know. Also, sometimes I'm an awkward person. Like on camera, if I say something stupid, I can edit it out. But you know what? There's no rewind button. And when you feel like you rack your foot in your mouth and you're just like, I can't believe I said that. Or you say something that you think is funny and then they look at you like, why'd you just say that? And then you immediately watch their gaze turn from you to someone else like, this conversation is over. And you're just like, oh my gosh, I just said something stupid. The struggle is real. The struggle is real. Hashtag awkward relationships, okay? And if you're a person that struggles with putting your foot in your mouth or being awkward, you know what it's like. And some people can just like magically say all the things that make people want to run around and think they're wonderful, and they have unicorns dancing in their hair, and you're like, sometimes it's hard with friends because you might move into a new area, or maybe, you know, just the area you're in, and you feel like everyone that you want to be friends with already has a group of friends, and it's hard to just get new friends. Like, I know people are like, oh, why don't you just make new friends? I'm like, one doesn't simply just make new friends. Like, in high school, you don't just go up to the like clique over here and be like, hey guys, I've all decided that you're gonna be my new best friends. And they're like, no, it has to start slowly. Usually you start a friendship with one person, they end up inviting another person over, and slowly you get kind of included. But it can be really hard and intimidating to approach someone when you know that they already have a group of friends. Like, it's just hard. Sometimes it's hard to make friends with people because they have a trait that stands out in a big way that prevents you from seeing other good qualities that could create a good friendship. Maybe they're one of those people that has to know everything. And because they have to know everything, you're like, I cannot stand this woman. She has to know everything. She makes me crazy. But if you could just get through that and look past it, you might see that she has a lot of the same things that you've gone through in your life. She has the same interests, and there could be a friendship made, but you just have to get past those initial barriers that stop you from wanting to be friends with someone, and giving someone the benefit of the doubt and giving them a chance to actually get to know the real them and not just the person you put up front. Because the person that we are when we first meet someone and give off that first impression isn't always our true selves, because we get shy, we get scared, we don't want someone to turn us down, so we kind of hide ourselves. And so you have to give people a chance to kind of show their true colors. But the same thing can go for the other way. Sometimes people seem very nice and bubbly and happy, and then you find out what they're really like, and you're like, no. The next thing is just pure old maturity. And I think maturity goes farther than age, because age is relevant and maturity doesn't always follow age. You think when you're 40 years old that friends shouldn't be back talking and being stuff like that to each other. But guess what? It happens, okay? It happens. And sometimes you meet someone like my friend I had over this weekend that was really nice, and she's 10 years younger than me. I feel like I can relate to her. We can talk about everything. We can just chill and do nothing, and we can have fun, or we can go shopping and we can have fun. Like, it doesn't really matter. We can just relax and be ourselves and have a good time. And it doesn't matter because our maturity levels are right there. We feel like we're on the same page and we're thinking about the same things in life. Like, if you're over here thinking deep things and someone else is over here going, nude or berry, nude or berry. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, because of course I do that all the time. But if that's all they're thinking about and you're over here trying to go deeper, it's like you're not connecting. The wavelengths are not working. It's kind of a queen bee follower mentality. Some people love to be the star of the show and they want other people who are willing to follow their show. I'm someone that doesn't follow queen bees. I kind of beat to my own drum. I don't have followers. I just do my own thing and people can accept me for how I am. But for people that are kind of the queen bee, I think for me, I'm a little bit intimidating because here I am. Like, I'm a tall girl, so like I have a bigger presence because I'm like 5'10". So like when I'm around, and when people can feel that you're confident and that you don't need them for validation of who you are, it kind of is like intimidating. They're like, whoa, I'm the queen bee. I can't have her around because what if she becomes a queen bee? What if people want to follow her? And so it becomes a little hard. And then you have those people that are like, oh my gosh, I just want to hug you and I love you. And they like want to worship everything you do. And they like want to be BFFs forever. And it's like, those are people who need to glom on to a queen bee. They need someone strong to guide them through this life. And I'm just really not that kind of girl. So I guess I don't have a really circle because I don't fit in either one, but that's okay. I'm good with that. So with all this being said, you just have to ask yourself, if you have someone that for some miracle has things in common with you, likes you, wants the same thing out of the relationship, you are so lucky. You should cherish that relationship. You should really honestly put some effort into making that relationship grow, which I think in my way to do that is to be kind to them, to give them service. But if you see someone who's struggling and might be a little awkward and not have friends, why not reach out to them? Why not be that person that can break the stereotype and say, well, nobody talks to Janie. Well, how come nobody talks to Janie? Because nobody's talked to Janie, that's why no one talks to Janie? Like, that's honestly what we're dealing with. Like, go out of your shell, go out of your comfort zone, sit by somebody new and introduce yourself and say hello and give someone a chance. I had a time when I was in the Apple store and I saw this really cute girl. She looked like similar taste in me, had kids about the same age. She was sitting there waiting for her iPad to be fixed. I was waiting for my computer. Her kid was playing a really cool app that I'd never seen before. So, you know, just trying to be friendly and strike up conversation. Hey, maybe we could go over to the park together and let our kids play, you know, that kind of thing. I just went over there and just said, oh, that app looks so fun. What app is that? And she literally looks at me and goes, an ABC app? And then turns away and just looks back at her kid. And I was like, shut down. Like, obviously you don't want to be friends with me, and that's fine. Maybe you're having a bad day. I don't know. But why don't we give people a chance? Why is it so easy for our kids to go to the playground and make best friends with someone in 2 seconds, but we can sit next to their mother on the park bench and we don't say anything to them because we're scared what people are going to think. We're scared that they're not going to talk to us. Is that going to prevent me from saying hello to someone next time? No, but does it for some people? Yeah? So just put yourself out there. Try to be friends with people. Try to be kind to one another. And stop letting other people's successes bring you down. Don't like not pick to be friends with someone because you think, oh, they're skinny, they're gonna make me look fat, or they have a nice house, so they're gonna make my house look small, or I can't be friends with her because her house is perfectly and clean all the time and she'll come over here and think I'm a slob. Guys, it doesn't matter. We're all doing the very best I can. We all have strengths. For every person that has a wonderful strength, they also have a weakness. And instead of taking our weaknesses and comparing them to their strengths and saying we're not as good as them or blah, blah, if we say, you know what? I'm not really good at keeping my house clean, but I'm really good at crafts. Why don't we get together? I'll help you make XYZ for your kids' room, and you come over. Can you show me how you deep clean this or that? How do you organize your closets? You know what? Help each other and use those strengths where you guys can both take those weaknesses and make them strengths. I know this video is really long, like half an hour long, but I had a lot of things I had to say, a lot of things that I was thinking about friendship, and I just felt like if I could spread the message of reaching out of your comfort zone and reaching out to those who feel like they don't have friends, or just taking the blinders off and not giving yourself limitations on who you can be friends with. Because honestly, everyone can be friends in some aspect if we would just allow ourselves to be. But we put up these judgments, we put up these walls, and sometimes we don't allow ourselves to see the things we do have in common with people. You know, as you're thinking about the kind of friends you have, think about the kind of person you want to be and the type of friends you want to attract. If you work on improving yourself to be the best person you can be and to be happy and you do kind of put yourself out there and try to make an effort, people aren't actually going to want to be your friend. And that's something that I'm working on. I'm saying that because that's something I'm trying to do too, is to be my best self so that people want to be around me, who want to be my friend, and I make myself available. I don't make myself someone that's just too busy to have friends. And so anyway, those are all my thoughts. If you have friends, give them a hug, tell them you love them, tell them you appreciate them, do something kind for them, especially before Christmas. I'll see you guys later. Bye.